Welcome to the Heal Her Soul workshop. My name is Coach Stacy. I am a self-healing coach, and I am joined with two incredible women that inspire me every single day. Dr. Deja, who is a purpose ambassador, and Dr. Ebony, who is an empower mentor. We all have so many other titles and hats under our belt, but today we're going to be speaking about healing, purpose, and empowerment. This is the Heal Her Soul workshop, and we have so much to share to be able to help heal your soul so that you can make this next year the best year of your life and step into the best version of yourself. So, a little bit of breakdown about what we're going to discuss today. We're going to go over the timeless, simple knowledge of yourself, of thyself. Okay. We're also going to go over the healing layers that happen through your body, your soul, and your spirit. Dr. Deja is going to bless us with the assignments versus purpose. And then we're going to get into a healing hypnosis session that's going to help us visualize our life path. Okay. It's the life path healing hypnosis session. And we're going to close it out with our empowerment queen, Dr. Ebony, who's going to give us powerful closing so that we can start off fresh for this new year. Let's go ahead and get started. Before I forget, Dr. Deja and Dr. Ebony are part of my Safe Space with Stacy podcast, OGs. Okay. They are my original girlies. They were on season 1 of my podcast. And so if you have not already, you can either go to Apple or Spotify, look up Safe Space with Stacy podcast. And when you go to season 1, you'll see Dr. Ebony and you will hear her incredible life story in episode 20. And then go to episode 27 and you will hear Dr. Deja's incredible story. Because of these podcast episodes, that's the reason why I stay connected with these two amazing women, because their stories and their resilience and their growth that they've experienced from what they've experienced in their life is why I do what I do. And so I'm so grateful to have this workshop with these incredible women. Make sure you go check out their stories on Safe Space with Stacy podcast. So we're going to get right on into it because I value you guys this time. We're going to get into what it is. What is your body? All right. So your body, we're 3 different entities. Okay. So we're a body, a soul, and a spirit. And so as your body is your vessel, it's what you're in right now. It's basically your steering guide for you yourself on this earth. So it's our home we live in as we walk this earth. It's the physical representation of who we are, carrying us through every experience that we have on this earth. Your body holds so much wisdom. It remembers every joy, every heartbreak, and every triumph. So I want you to take a moment and write down this question for yourself. And you can ask it at the end of this workshop for yourself. But how often do you listen to your body? How often are you paying attention to what it's telling you when you need rest or when you have some sort of pain? Do you listen to it regularly? Do you honor what it tells you? The healing in yourself actually begins when we stop ignoring the whispers our body tells us and start listening to the wisdom. So your body holds everything that you've ever experienced. It will tell you what direction you need to go into and everything. And so when you feel those certain little pains, or you do feel really tired, or you're even feeling hungry, even you have a craving for something, go and listen to your body because it's your vessel. It's literally what's steering you. It's steering you on the ship. So it's very important to take care of it and listen to it. And let's go on to our soul. So the soul is often considered the essence of who we are. It is our unique individuality, personality, emotions, and moral compass. It is seen as the bridge between our physical body and our spiritual existence. So that just means right there, it's the bridge between our spiritual existence and what we're experiencing on this earth. Okay, your soul is actually, it chose you to experience what you are experiencing on this earth right now. So the function of it is it connects our physical self to our spiritual realm. It houses our thoughts, emotions, and will. It often is viewed as eternal, continuing after physical death. If you're on this call right now, you more than likely are an old soul. You are more than likely a person who has been experiencing some growth and feeling as though nobody else around you understands or gets you because you feel it in your soul that you've been here before. And so what I truly want you all to understand that your soul has chose your body to go through what you have gone through. So any of those hardships that you have experienced, your soul literally is, you know what? I chose you to get through this. I chose you to get to the other side of this. And I also chose you to show others how to get to the other side as well. Let's go on to some spirit. We're going to tie it all in together. So the spirit, right? The spirit is often viewed as the divine, eternal part of us that connects directly to God, the universe, or the source of creation. It is the life force or energy within all beings. It represents the breath of life, vitality, or essence of being alive. So we're often connected to a higher conscious and the divine. So spirit is actually the higher conscious and the divine. Spirit is not necessarily just one entity. It's a whole collective. It's basically directly connected to God. So your spirit is directly connected to God. So the intuition that you feel, that is a download, is how I call it, from spirit to your actual soul, for your soul to tell your body to move in a certain direction or to do a certain thing. And so intuition is going to be the thing that's going to connect your spirit to your soul. So always trust your gut, trust your intuition, trust that gut feeling that you have, even if it may not make sense. I'm sure Dr. Deja is going to speak about it, but sometimes you're not going to know what your purpose is. Like you truly, it's not that easy to really know what your purpose is unless you really truly get in tune with where your spirit has guided you. And so if your spirit has guided you through some turmoil and you made it to the other side, that is a blessing and is your responsibility now to help the next person get through that turmoil too. So your spirit is often connected to a higher consciousness and the divine, and it also guides us towards spiritual enlightenment and awakening. So a little bit about my awakening that happened for me was back in 2016. I thought that I had it all. I had my salon that I dreamed of having in New York City. I had a marriage with a man who was successful. His family had commercial buildings all over New York City and a restaurant down the block from our house. I was living rent free in a building that they owned. And I just knew that their legacy was going to be carried through me because I was married to their oldest child. And I was just straight, right? I thought beauty was my end all be all. I knew that beauty was going to be my thing. I just knew that beauty was going to be my thing. But then all of a sudden, spirit hit me with an awakening. My husband turned physically abusive. And I knew that my husband, I did not want that to be an example for what my child, his stepson was an example of a man. I didn't want that to be his example. And so my awakening was I had to choose myself first and I had to drop everything and absolutely positively leave and start fresh to save myself from any more physical harm and who knows what else could have happened. And so I dropped everything and went to a domestic violence shelter. And then as I'm a raging alcoholic, I got into not drunk, but I got into a car accident that knocked me unconscious. And at that point, I'm already in domestic violence shelter. I already got knocked unconscious. At that point, my body had to surrender. I had to surrender to what God wanted for me. Because obviously, what I was doing was not correct. Me trying to control everything from having this aligned to getting into this quote unquote perfect marriage where I'm going to be provided for, what I controlled wasn't what God wanted for me. And so I had to have my awakening. And I literally had a whole ritual at the beach where I surrendered at the beach in the water, and it was gorgeous. And from that day, I said, God, I need you to be in everything that I do, from the conversations to I have to the experiences that I go through. I'm not going to say it's been the easiest, but I would not be here right now if I wasn't guided spiritually to that enlightenment and to that awakening with my husband, my ex-husband. Thank you, Jesus. I am currently divorced from that, and I am currently a free single woman, and I'm so excited to be able to take my everything to the next level, because I'm telling you, when your spirit is glowing, you have an inner glow that radiates outside of you. There's so many things, people, places, and things that are going to try to take that light away from you. Actually, one of my closest friends got me this light, got me this drink, or got me this cup. You can't really see it, but it says, never let anyone dull your sparkle. Your sparkle is your spirit that wants you to shine through, shine on, and live out your highest version of yourself. So never let anybody or any situation ever dull that sparkle or dull your light. Okay? So to talk a little bit more about this light and our uniqueness that we embody, this quote from Black is Queen King has changed me in a way of understanding what the mind, body, and soul, how it's all connected. And so Beyonce from Black is King says, "You were formed by the heat of the galaxy. What a thing to be both unique and familiar, to be one and the same and still unlike any other. Life is a set of choices. Lead or be led astray. Follow your light or lose it." And this is an image from Black is King too. So I wanted to give you guys this image is because this is literally how you were formed. Spirit, universe, divine source created you. A light force was created in your mom's belly when you were formed. But when you were in this state right here, that's when God gave you your purpose. That's when God chose your soul to experience what you're experiencing right now. And so your body is your vessel, the captain of your ship. I was saying on our live last night, one of my favorite quotes from the poem Invictus is, I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. So you are the master of your fate. You literally can control every aspect of what happens in your life through manifestation. And at the end of the day, healing is what gets you to the manifestation of what your purpose is here on this earth for. The healing from those turmoils, those baggages, that pain that you've experienced is what's going to get you to the other side, to the light. And so you are so familiar because we are all one. We all came from that same universe that you saw. But you're also very unique. Even if you were a twin, as soon as your twin eats something different than you, y'all are two completely different species. That makes you so very unique. Your own gifts, your own talents, your abilities that you have that nobody else has, that's what makes you unique. And that's the talents that you'll be using to serve. So you're like others, but unlike any other. And when you make the right choices for yourself, you follow your gut, you follow your bliss, you will be able to lead in the path that spirit has for you. Never, ever lose your light. Follow your light. Don't let anybody dim your light. Spirit chose you to live what your soul is here to learn. Spirit chose you to experience what you are going through right now. Your soul may have experienced some other things, some other lessons, right? And because they chose you to go through the lessons that you're experiencing, they want you to take it to that next level. One of my first ever online mentors said, life is a video game. You're like a little, I don't even want to say the name, but you're like a little Sonic the Hedgehog, right? You're a Sonic the Hedgehog running through this earth, jumping over the fires. I don't even know if he collects coins, but you're running through, and when you fail one level, you go back to the beginning, right? But because you already took those paths, you might have jumped the fires and everything, and you fail. Now, the next time that you get up, you know that there's a little pit right there. And so now you're equipped to hurdle over that pit and get to the other side. So there's going to be so many life lessons that you're going to have, especially when you're healing, especially when you're manifesting. There's going to be things that are going to come and tempt you. I call them tests and fires. There will be some kind of test that will come to try to bring you back to the unhealed version of yourself, bring you back to the old soul, to the old person that you were before. And you have to know to be able to put up those boundaries to not allow anybody or anything bring you back to the old you. So you must follow your gut in all that you do. Follow your intuition in all that you do. Remember that your intuition is going to be the portal from your spirit to your soul. So that intuition, the intuitive guide that you get, especially when you're doing all of the amazing healing modalities that I'm actually going to be sharing with you guys at the end of this. Not all of them, but I'll explain the little bonus that you guys are getting with this. But when you start really doing all of the healing modalities and getting in tune with your internal self and start following your bliss, start doing what makes you happy, that's what's going to be that compass for you so that you will be divinely guided on this earth. If I would have never surrendered to what God had for me, who knows where I would be? I just more than likely would be miserable. It wasn't until that I surrendered and I told myself, you know what? As I was healing, this information needs to be shared with other women. But let me save myself first before I try to save the world. So I went on a whole monk thing, 3 years of just getting in tune with who the fuck I was. And then as I was walking on this earth, I call it angels on earth. Like Dr. Deja and Dr. Ebony are my angels on earth. But I ended up speaking with one of my oldest brothers who was 21 years older than me in 2020. So this was me being a monk for 3 years. Then 2020 happened. Then my mom passes away. And my oldest brother, who I didn't have any relationship with because he was so much older than me, he asked me, "What are you planning on doing for yourself, Stacy?" And I said, "I have no clue, no clue whatsoever." But I something's pushed me in the direction of now helping others in what I've had to endure. And he said, he was another person that basically said, "Stacy, you have a light like our mother. You have a heart like our mother, but she allowed all of her demons to get the best of her." And so what we had to endure while growing up was an alcoholic woman who beat on her children, who chose men over her children at some points, and from the evictions to the poverty to the repossessions, all of that poverty stuff that we had to endure, plus the abuse, could have steered me astray. But I had to make sure that I followed my gut and my soul and my spirit of knowing that there was more and better and greater for me. And so I ended up suppressing all of that abuse that I endured. And when I suppressed it, it actually led me to the awakening of my ex-husband's experience and going through a car accident that knocked me unconscious. Now, if you don't, the way that God, the way that spirit is going to talk to you is first it's going to start off as a whisper. It's going to be like, "Hey, I think you should go in this direction." And then when you're not listening, it's going to be a little bit of a shove. "Hey, sis, I told you you should probably go in that direction, but you're still holding on to this, holding on to them." And then you may have to just get completely knocked down, like I did with the car accident, for you to say, "You know what? Obviously, what I'm doing is not right. Obviously, you take the wheel. Jesus, take the wheel. You show me where." And so I look for confirmations in what I'm doing through the conversations that I have. I feel so in tune and aligned with Dr. Deja and Dr. Ebony because of our grit and the grind and the glory. Make sure you get Dr. Ebony's book. That's her title. But because of the resilience that all three of us have endured, but we're still choosing to serve the world as best as possible. So this is the affirmation that I want you guys to make sure that you start saying on a regular basis. Because when I had my salon, I thought that was my end all be all. Me getting knocked off my feet, saying whatever you want, God, for me is what I'm going to do. This isn't anything that I thought that I was going to be doing, guys. I thought I was just going to be doing some makeup and some microblading for the rest of my life, opening up salons around the country, and that's still possible. But I had to give up all of that and pivot my entire life to really truly surrender to what God had for me. And so this affirmation I like to share as often as possible because this affirmation is what kept me steering straight. And so it's I choose to serve the world as much as possible and earn a great living while doing it. When you say this religiously, regularly, the Lord's spirit will divinely guide you to the right path that you're meant to be on. And I'm just going to tell you right now, just as you heard from my story, it may not be the path that you expect, but you have to follow what deep down inside of you're being pulled to go to. And there's going to be times like maybe you're going to be pulled to leave what is familiar to you. You have to leave what has been stopping you and blocking you from getting to that divine abundance that is your birthright. I just feel called to say that. All right. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I feel as though some of the things that we women have to get more in tune with is really truly listening to our body. And one thing that our body usually will feel the best with is with rest. So I need you all to make sure, because I know every last one of you are a mother, a wife, a girlfriend. You take care of so many people. Your best will come from your rest. So take care of your body as you are on this earth. And your soul is divinely aligned with what your spirit has for you and why your spirit chose you to be here. So remember to follow your gut, follow your intuition, and you will not be led astray. So I hope you guys got some good gems when it comes to body, soul, and spirit. I try my best to simplify what it is that we are as beings because all of these people just get it. It's just extra. They add a lot of extraness to it. And I just like to know the simplified why I got to do what I got to do. And so I had to learn myself to listen to my body. Even in my therapist was like, what's happening in your body right now? I never had that in my life. Anybody asked me that. And I was like, I feel like a flooding coming out of me right now. And that was the first time that I was like, what? Wow, you really can feel what's happening in your body if you sit there and consciously focus in on it. So focus in on what your body is telling you so that your soul can steer you in the right direction. Now, I said on the call that you guys all are going to get something that's going to help you in your whole healing journey, healing path. And it's my ebook that I absolutely love. It's called The 101 Ways to Heal Yourself. And so I'm going to be giving everybody in their course portal the 101 Ways to Heal Yourself ebook. Please make sure that you try everything on that list at least once. And the thing that sets your soul on fire, continue to do it. Make it a routine. And as you're doing this healing work, you're going to be guided more divinely, especially with the information that is about to be shared from my girl, Dr. Deja. Yeah. So Dr. Deja has been such an inspiration because, like I said, her podcast episode is when I actually got to know her story and the trials and tribulations that she had from the jump of her life and her making it to this part of her life, this point of her life, where she's able to spend time with her grandchildren. She's able to love on her family and herself. She's in a happy, positive place that just fills my heart with so much joy. Her story has been something that has inspired me to keep on going. And so she is the expert at purpose. That's why she is coming on here as the purpose ambassador to teach us how to get to and know that we're in the right space. So welcome, Dr. Deja, to the Healer Hopes Healer Soul Workshop. Let's go.
Thank you so much, Coach Stacy. I am so super excited for one that you asked me to be a part of this. I am forever grateful to you for everything that you did for me in terms of helping me get to this heal place in my life, right? To be able to forgive and let go and move on. And that was such a powerful thing for me because it's really when I began to be more open to my purpose and less guarded. So thank you. Thank you so much. I am excited for everyone that's going to get this replay. For those that are here now, I'm excited because just your breakdown of our soul, our spirit, and our soul, and how they're connected. I'm not going to remember. I'm not going to forget this. How often do you listen to your body? Because sometimes I have rest guilt. And is if I'm resting, I feel guilty because I feel like I could be doing other things. And that is something that we do have to pay attention to. So thank you for that. I am gonna hop right in, guys. I'm gonna share my screen if I could find the right screen. I got so many screens open. But let me find the right screen to share. And I'm gonna share really quick. Let's see. I think this is the right one. There is no sound. I don't need to share sound. Okay, share. All right, you guys disappeared for me. But can you see my screen? You can?
Yes, we
Okay.
can.
Did I show up all cute like Stacy, like Coach Stacy
It's
in the
not
middle?
it's not blanking out, no.
Okay, let's
You still
see.
cute though.
I'm like, I like that look. I like how it looks. All right, let's get to the presenter. All right, there we go. All right, guys. What I'm going to talk to you guys about really is how to get to this place where you are able to be authentic in your purpose. In this world today where we get so many different messages from so many different places, sometimes it's hard to just be ourselves authentically and not have to feel the need to change and be who other people think we should be. And we're going to hop right in. I am your purpose ambassador. I am the one who really just help you on this journey, right? A lot of people come to me and ask me, can I tell them what their purpose is? I am not your God. I'm just the ambassador. I can't tell you what your purpose is. I am an author, a speaker, and a purpose ambassador. I help women discover their purpose and crush the limiting beliefs that stop them from living more fulfilled lives. Because if we can get past our own thoughts and those beliefs that other people really have given us, we will be able to be a lot more authentic in how we show up. So I wanted to just go over some of the things that you might not even realize are signs of you not being in your purpose or authentically in your purpose. So there are emotional and mental signs, right? They may be, you feel like something is missing. Have you ever had that feeling where it's, oh no, something like something is just, it's something missing. You can't quite put your finger on it, that it's not all the way complete. That's a sign that you're not in your purpose. Frequent comparison to others. When this world of social media, we're comparing our journey to their journey, our story to their journey, to their story. That's a sign that you are not authentically in your purpose, because you're still looking at what others are doing and how they're carrying out theirs, and comparing. And to be honest with you, I really believe some of us need to stop following certain people who make you feel like you are not enough, or you got to compare yourself to them and live up. Some of us, some of the gurus that we look up to, or some of the people that motivate us, can also be the same people that have us in our thoughts and making us feel like we're not doing enough because we're trying to live up to that standard. So comparison is another emotional and mental sign. The lack of fulfillment or lack of true joy. Have you ever done something that just, it feels good, but it's, you go to bed, you get up and it's okay, that was all right. But you still feel like I need to do more. I need to do more. Guys, that's a sign. That's a huge sign. That's really one of the biggest signs. Because we think if we get the money, if we get the car, we get the marriage, we get the house, that then I'll be fine. And then you get all those things and you realize you still not. You're still not. Something is still missing. There are behavioral signs, procrastination. Sometimes people think they're procrastinating for all these other reasons, when really it is your soul is really sometimes putting a halt on you, because it's not connected to whatever it is you're trying to do, because it longs to really live out your purpose. Or overcommitment, saying yes to just everything, because it's easier to just be a part of everything instead of taking that time to sit with yourself and really figure out what you're supposed to be doing instead of just doing things. Avoiding meaningful reflection, self-reflection. Sometimes we do not take the time to really self-reflect on ourselves. Coach Stacy said we don't take the time to listen to our bodies, to feel what we're feeling in our body, right? But we don't take the time a lot of times to reflect. How did I feel about this? What do I think about that? How did this situation make me feel like? Or how was my day? What made me feel fulfilled today and what didn't? Taking that time to just self reflect, as opposed to looking externally to everything else, is really important with getting connected with your purpose. And when you're not doing, that's a sign that you're not in it. The physical signs, fatigue and burnout. We're just burning ourselves out doing all these different things. And when you're passionate about something, you ever notice that you don't even feel tired when you're doing it? You could do it and do it, and it's, oh, I'm ready to do it again. But when there's something you really don't like to do, it's like reading a book, or every time you pick up the Bible, or whatever it is you should be doing, you get sleepy. All of a sudden, you get tired or you feel burned out. That's a sign, guys. Or just tension in your body. Maybe you notice you're getting a lot of headaches, right? You're carrying tension in your neck, you're carrying tension in your shoulders. Those can be signs that you're not walking in your purpose. You're not operating in your purpose. You're doing things that are putting pressure on you that are not good for you, really. Relationship signs. So strained relationships. It's hard for you to maintain meaningful connections. For one, because you're not really connected with yourself. It's hard to connect and stay connected to other people when you feel disconnected within yourself. So when you're unable, when you see yourself constantly and it doesn't have to be romantic relationships, guys, it can be friendships. This can be relationships on your job. But when those things feel strained and it's like it's a lot of work to do, you're operating outside of your purpose. And people pleasing. We don't even realize sometimes when we're doing that. We're people pleasing, we're prioritizing other people and their expectations of us over ourselves, over what we know we really desire and need to be doing. That's a sign that you're operating outside of your purpose. And then, of course, those spiritual signs, like Coach Stacy was talking about, when you're connected to your higher power, you feel a sense of your purpose when you stay connected. But when you lose that connection, or you lose that distance from your faith or from your higher power, you feel it. That's when really those overwhelming feelings of something is missing. Yes, your soul needs that connection. It's trying to get the understanding and remembering, what am I supposed to be doing here? You were created for a reason and your soul knows that. And so it's constantly trying to connect you back to that. And then that nagging intuition. As women, we talk about our intuition a lot, but that intuition where it's this loud voice, right? When you know this is not where I'm meant to be. This is not what I'm meant to. This is not what I'm meant to be doing. It might feel good to others. It might look good. Maybe I thought this is what I wanted, but now that I have it, or now that I'm here, this is just not it. This is just not it. And it's not always easy to follow that intuition, especially when you're financially secure and that in that situation is making you financially secure, right? It's hard sometimes to listen to that intuition. And then those practical signs, right? You're just not, your goals are not aligning really with what you know you truly desire. You're doing things for other reasons, whether it's for money or whether it's for that people pleasing, but it's not really aligned with your authentic desires. That's another sign that you are operating outside of your purpose. The lack of impact. If you feel like the work that you're doing is not meaningful, if you feel the impact that I want to make, I can't seem to make it, I can't seem to get there, that's a sign that you're operating outside of your purpose. And then your disinterest in your passions. If you were once passionate about something and now all of a sudden you don't even have a desire to really do it, you're operating outside of your purpose. Those are signs. So I want you guys to either take a snapshot, write them down, whatever. When you start, and pay attention, like Coach Stacy said, pay attention to yourself. Listen to your body. It's speaking to you. It's telling you what it is that it wants. And when you're out of an alignment, you can feel it. You can feel it. All right. So research shows that knowing and living in your purpose can add up to 15 years to your life. So guys, when I was doing my first dissertation, I did some research on this culture in China, this little village in China. And I wanted to know what built resilience and why people were able to be, some people it seemed like were born with resilience, and some, I don't know, it felt like it had to be developed. But I wanted to understand that better. And I found, and this little village had nothing to do with my actual study, but I was so captivated that there was this group of people that lived to well over 100 years old and continually they were healthy. They were not they were not having to be cared for by other people. Like these were healthy people mentally, physically. And the researcher in that study found out that when he asked them, all of them, kind of what did they feel like was the reason why they were still healthy and going strong. And they were doing, it was like a brain research, and they had brain scans and different things hooked up to them while they asked them this question. And every single one of them answered this with, I know why I wake up every day. I know what my purpose is. And then it showed that there is a chemical. I can't remember the chemical. Don't make me lie. I went looking in my notes for it last night. Dr. Ebony, you might have to help me on this one if you could find it. But I went looking in my notes last night because I'm like, what is the name of this chemical? I know it starts with a D, but our brain
Dopamine makes you happy.
produces more of it when we know what our purpose is. And that has added to the longevity of their lives. So sometimes they tell you stress kills, right? So imagine if you are You may have some stress in your life. Stress is unavoidable, right? But if you know what you're waking up for every single day, you know what you're supposed to be doing, right? That right there in itself can eliminate some of the stress. Some things that bother you now won't even bother you because like that has nothing to do with what I'm here for. So I'm not even gonna worry myself with it. But I thought that was a really interesting fact that it adds 15 years to your life. So what I want you to think about is, and I want you to write this down, what's the one thing you love doing that makes you feel alive? What makes you feel alive? So many times we do things just because we have to do them. We got to go to work because we got to pay the bills. We got to cook because we got to feed the family. But what makes you feel alive, right? It's important for you to know that. It's important for you to know that your purpose is not just what you do, but why you do it. If you're doing something because it makes you feel alive, it's tapping into your purpose. The why behind that is very important. So let's hop into this because I really want you to understand the difference between purpose versus assignments. A lot of times, I get a lot of clients who say, well, I'm doing this job and I think this is my purpose and it feels like it's my purpose, but I'm not making enough money and I want to leave or whatever. I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to start this business. And I think that this is the part where people sometimes get confused. We get our purpose tied in with our titles or with our roles. And there is a big difference between our purpose and the assignments that we have within that purpose. Like I was a teacher for many years. I was a principal for 8 years. I ran a nonprofit for many years, still do. And those things, while they helped to fulfill my purpose, they were assignments. They were temporary things that allowed me the opportunity to fulfill my purpose. But they were not my purpose. Running a nonprofit was not my purpose on earth. Being a teacher is not my purpose. It was an assignment. It was an avenue to carry out what my purpose was, what my purpose is. So your purpose is your why. It's the core reason that you exist. And it's the impact that you're meant to make. So it doesn't matter what assignment comes, that assignment is going to help to fulfill that purpose. Your purpose is unchanging. It does not change like our jobs do. It's tied to your values and it's tied to your passions. Okay? God is just amazing in the way that he makes us love what he created us to do. It could have made it where you hated it, but you still got to do it. Kids love nice things, but they hate keeping them up. They love the electronics, but they are not very careful with them. They break them. But God created us in a way that we really we love what he created us to do. We just got to figure out what that is. Your assignment is your what. So remember, your purpose is your why. Your assignment is your what. It's the tasks, the roles, the jobs that it takes to fulfill your purpose. They're temporary. They may last for many years. They may last for many months. They may last for a day. You might meet someone today that you are supposed to pour into, and you may never see that person again. That person was your assignment for today to help you carry out your purpose. But sometimes we take our assignments and we make them permanent in a lot of different ways, in friendships, in jobs, in marriages, in all kind of in businesses that we just won't let go. We a lot of times take our assignments and we make them permanent because we're confused about what our purpose really is. The assignments that you're in, they may even evolve over time. Right? So your friends, you may have a really close friend that you were best friends with, and that friendship may evolve over time to where you're not as close anymore. The love is still there. There's nothing negative about it, but what that friendship desired or what your purpose was in the beginning is not what the purpose is now. And we got to be okay with that. We got to be okay with that. So your purpose, I want you to think about it like this. Even for me, like my purpose is empowering women to live authentically in their purpose, right? Like I may do that through being a mentor, creating podcasts, being on other people's podcasts, hosting workshops, being a part of a workshop like this, writing books. Those things are all just assignments, are part of the things that help me carry out that ultimate goal, that ultimate purpose of empowering women to live authentically in their purpose. All right. So, what I want you to do, thinking about all of the things I just said, I want you to write a list of your current and your past assignments. Think about all of those things, even friendships, people that you were assigned to or connected to. And then I want you to think about, okay, what am I currently focused on? What assignments am I currently focused on? And figure out, even if you don't know your purpose right now, I want you to try to get in that mind space to think, how is this assignment helping me carry out my purpose? One thing about assignments is they all are connected in some kind of way. And you might not notice why you're in it. You know what? I was an assistant at this job and I did X, Y, and Z. And then I got promoted and I became the right-hand man to the CEO and I did X, Y, and Z. But how are those things connected? How are those assignments connected? There is always a connection that leads us back to our purpose. We just gotta pay attention. We have to do that self-reflection in order to understand that. Okay. All right. So purpose versus passions and goals. A lot of times people think their purpose is their passion, but I want you to think about this very simply, because I'm not going to go into a whole breakdown of each three because it's super simple. Your purpose fuels your passion, and your passion fuels your goals. So right now, people are making their vision boards and they're doing all of these things, but what's fueling those goals? Is it their purpose? Is it their desires? What is really fueling those goals that's on all the vision boards that we're going to see come January? So it's super simple. Passion is the gas, purpose is the gas for your passion, and passion is the gas for your goals. And if you keep it in that order, I promise you, life is going to be so much more happy for you. So here are 3 key steps I want you to take down to help you uncover your purpose. There's no way I can ever tell you what your purpose is, right? I told you I'm just the ambassador, but I can give you some steps on how to get there. Is this by any means all the steps? No. Purpose, uncovering your purpose is a journey. There's constantly pulling back layers, right? But here are 3 key steps that'll help you. One is reflect. Reflect on what lights you up. What problems are you uniquely positioned to solve? What do people already come to you for? What do people already treat you like the expert for? All right. And then realign. Focus on assignments that connect with their bigger why. When you write down that list of all your assignments, I want you to think about, okay, my why, what am I really here for? How are these assignments connected to that? And then release. Let go of any assignments that no longer serve your purpose, that are no longer connected to your why. Let them go. Release them. Even if you thought this was going to be a permanent thing, sometimes you got to release. All right. So reflect, realign, and release. Take a picture, take a snapshot, but you'll get this in the replay. So rewind, write it down, pause, whatever you got to do, but it's important for you to understand that. And then I want you to craft your purpose statement, and we're going to close after this. I want you to craft your purpose statement. All right. So your purpose statement this is like the formula, right? My purpose is to, whatever the impact is, by whatever the action is, through whatever your unique skills or passion is. To the bottom, I wrote out mine in that way. My purpose is to empower, that's the impact, right? Empower women by helping them discover their purpose, that's the action, okay? And live in it authentically through coaching and mentorship and published works. That's the unique skills and passion. That's how I can uniquely help them. So I want you to think about that. For one, you got to identify what your core values are. What do you value? Two, you got to define what are your unique gifts? What are those things that you can do just effortlessly that seems like it's work for other people to be able to do? We all have gifts that are meant to solve someone else's problem. A lot of times we think our gifts are for us, but they're really not. They're for other people. All right. So define your unique gifts. Describe the impact that you want to make. What do you want? How do you want to leave this world when you're gone? Number 4 is to combine your values, your gifts, and impact into this single powerful statement. And continue to refine and reflect on it until you get it to a place where it's like it that resonates. That makes sense. Okay. All right. So what now? What now is you just got to revisit your purpose statement regularly. Create that vision of what that looks like in your mind. One of the things that I do, once I really understood what my purpose was, I have this, and I wrote it out too, this vision of what my life looks like when I am fully, authentically walking in that purpose. What I'm doing, how it makes me feel, who I'm surrounded by, like that ultimate vision of my life, right? That's the vision that you should be going to bed to every night. And that's the vision you should be waking up every morning to. So if you got to write it down, if you got to speak it into your phone, whatever you got to do, before you go to bed, play that thing back, close your eyes and see it. See, what does my life look like when I'm empowering women? How does that make me feel? What do they get from that? Man, seeing the smiles on women's face and seeing women being able to release things, whether it's people, things, drugs, jobs, whatever it is, and feeling more empowered to just be who they were created to be. For me, that is like the ultimate vision. Go to bed to that. All right. Visit that vision constantly and then commit. So after this, I want you to commit to at least one step toward aligning to your purpose this week. Make that commitment. I'm going to do one thing this week that's going to get me closer to a more realization of even what my purpose is, right? And aligning myself to that. All right. And then book a free call. Let's talk. Let's converse. Go to my website, book a call, absolutely free. And maybe you got more questions. Maybe you need a little bit more clarity. I'm open. I'm here to support you, to be your ambassador through this journey. But that's what I want you to do now. That's what I want you to do after this. I don't want you to get off of here, put your notes to the side and say, oh, that was great. It made me feel good in the moment. And then you've gone on with your life, right? You have to take the information and utilize it. And you got to do it immediately. You got to activate immediately. That's how this thing works. And consistently. Okay? All right. So I'm going to leave you with this quote, guys. The meaning of life is to find your gift. The purpose of life is to give it away. It's not for you. It's for everybody else. It's for those who you're supposed to be connected to, those who you're supposed to serve. So do not let those people stay out there waiting for you to get out of your own way and walk authentically into your purpose. Coach Stacy, I want to thank you so much. I really appreciate this opportunity. I want to thank you so much. Guys, I really hope that this was helpful for you. Pray that you take those techniques to help build your purpose statement and really do the work to help figure out what it is you're supposed to be doing here. Because your soul is not going to let up until you do it. I'm just telling you right now. It's not going to let up until it accomplishes what it came here to accomplish. So go ahead and get started. Thank you. Thank you,
Yes.
Coach.
Thank you, Dr. Deja. That was beautiful. I just knew that it would be like confirmation for me. And I was saying it on my presentation. I do things to get confirmations and conversations. And that whole entire presentation was a confirmation for me to know that my assignments, some of them, they got to go. And I need to really truly focus in on what I'm on this earth to do. So the ultimate vision of your life, we're actually going to get to the ultimate vision of your life right now through a healing hypnosis session. Okay. I got goosebumps already. That's how you know it's about to be good. Dr. Deja was speaking about your assignments, the things that, you know, deep down inside of you, you want to accomplish. And we can get in our own way when it comes to accomplishing these goals. There is so many things that I did for myself when I first started my healing journey and even this coaching journey was I would self-sabotage a lot because I didn't feel worthy or deserving of it. I would procrastinate because I didn't feel worthy and deserving of everything that God was putting on my heart that I was supposed to accomplish. And it wasn't until that I actually did this healing hypnosis session that it fueled me to get to my purpose. It fueled me to not allow any kind of bump in the road to stop me from my purpose. And this workshop is literally a manifestation of those things that I was imagining as I was doing the life path healing hypnosis session for myself. And so I want you all to, you don't have to worry about laying down. It's actually a hypnosis session that you can sit down in your chair and do. I just want you to make sure that you're comfortable. If you're catching this replay and you're listening while you're driving, I need you to pull over. Don't do this while operating heavy machinery or driving, okay? But I want you to just follow along with what are the things that I'm telling you to do.